if you did have a lot of pencil lines on the front, if you turn it this way, you can see it is the same image as the printout. So the next stage is to do our collage. So this is our second sheet of card. So we're going to start off by drawing round our collage so we know where the objects we've collected are going to be stuck down. So if you imagine, if you stick anything there, it's not going to show. So that's what we need to cover. So if we look at our objects we've collected, it's now an advantage that we've cut them out. We make sure they cover the line by a good half a centimetre or so, and we know there aren't going to be any gaps between the frame and the collage. You want a good combination of objects, some which are difficult, some which are harder to paint. And cut that off because that's sticking out the edge slightly. Now one thing students often do is when they've arranged their objects like that, they have a look at them just to check there aren't any gaps. You can see the paper in between. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 objects, which is about right, between 6 and 8. But I'm also noticing there's a little bit of blending of tone in this water areas, but there's no real fine detail. So I think what I'm going to do, I've got this one small bit of detail painting, and I'm going to put that in this bottom corner down there. Now at this stage, what students often do is they take a photograph on their phone and that then reminds them of where to put things. Need to be careful because I can see I've got a little bit of a gap creeping in there. So when I stick that down, I need to move that so I can't see any of the white card below, because you're going to lose marks for that. So we'll move that to one side. So I've got some PVA and the glue spreader. That's my collage. And now we're going to arrange our object. I think I'm going to start off, because it looks underneath, by putting Dr. Pepper So if you don't have enough glue, it won't stick down well enough. If you have too much glue, it's going to squirt around the edges. Although I wouldn't worry too much if any comes on the surface like here, because PVA does dry clear. It's not exactly like my original arrangement, but it's pretty close. Leaf probably is a more difficult object for me to stick down. As I said, I'm not too worried if I get a bit of PVA on the surface, because it is going to dry clear. So I'm pretty happy with that. Before I stick my frame down, I'm going to have a quick look. I know I need to stick that, but I think I'll do that at the end. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll move that to one side. I'm going to glue on the back side of this. Don't make the mistake of gluing on the wrong side. So when it comes to gluing on the back of this, I'm going to take some more PVA. Going to put some glue around the outside of where I cut the shape out. Enough to stick it down, but not too much. Then finally some glue around the frame. But as I said, what we don't want to do is stick down this frame and have a huge amount of glue squirting out the sides, because we want to keep the front cover of the frame as clean as possible. So there's our frame glued up. Back to our collage. I'm going to put a little bit more glue under this leaf here. Try and hold it down. Next, we're going to place this, line that up accurately. Making certain I don't get any glue on the front. Under there, I think. Now, what I said I wanted to do, I wanted to add this under there. So I'm going to carefully try to pop a reasonable amount of glue there. Put a bit of glue under there. The reason I'm doing it this way is I want it to be in a position where I can see it to paint. I'm just going to use the tip of the scissors to push that. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I have to make sure my hands are clean and just try to hold these areas down until the glue sticks. glue under there. Hold that down. So I'm pretty happy with that. These bits of PVA, which are still wet, are going to dry clear. Can't see any gaps I've left. Somewhere between 6 and 9 objects. To suggested you stick down, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8. So on the upper range, there's a good range of colours there. There's at least one leaf. I did consider sticking another leaf on, and if I decide I wanted to do that, for example, the last stage, I could quite easily glue the back of that and push it and slip it under there before it's dry, but I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm quite happy with my arrangement. I'm just going to spend the next few minutes making sure these areas are stuck down when I see them coming up slightly. So name and form bottom right hand corner, and then your collage is completed. So lastly, when we come to marking the collage is going to be worth 25%. The painting is going to be worth 75%. And when we look at the collage, we are going to consider how well the objects have been cut out, how flat they've been stuck down, how well they've been arranged, no evidence of white gaps in between where you can see the card underneath. Is there somewhere between 6 and 9 objects? And finally, how well has this been cut out? Have you chosen suitable shape, and have you cut it out well enough with sharp edges on the image centrally arranged?